Making sense of marriage. Questions and answers. What about infertile couples?
Hi, so I have heard people say that gay marriage doesn't make sense because marriage is supposed to be so much about children and family life. Well, what does that mean for infertile couples? Why would an infertile couple be allowed to get married if they are not able to naturally have children? And I've never actually heard a convincing answer on that, so...
Sure, no worries. A very good question. I think it's important to disassociate from a sort of extreme view of marriage that thinks marriage is all about making babies. The King Henry VIII view, right? Who kept marrying multiple people and then divorcing them / chopping off their heads until he got one that brought about a baby, right? So that's a view I don't think is right. First thing to note is when it comes to infertility, it's very rare that both people in the relationship are infertile. It's usually often one or the other. And in many cases, infertility can be treated, okay? Can be helped, and the couple can actually achieve pregnancy. In many cases where one of the persons in a couple is infertile, they often look to adoption and to try and see if they can raise a child and give them the blessing of having a mum and a dad. So most couples who face infertility still end up having kids, whether through being helped through dealing with issues of infertility or through adopting. But the important thing here is, for the couples that do experience that great difficulty, it's experienced as a real cross, right? As an acknowledgement on their part that there's something that should be there that isn't. There's an impediment to them conceiving, right? So something that they know that should be there isn't there. And I think that reinforces only more the strong link that everyone knows exists between men and women and a committed married couple and to family life, right? And they're realising it's a frustration because something that should be there and is an obvious link isn't being achieved. Now, that same sort of difficulty and anxiety isn't present between same-sex couples. No two men or no two women are going to sort of go, why isn't it possible that we're not conceiving? Why isn't our relationship bearing fruit new life, right? Because everyone knows that that's not the sort of relationship that brings new kids into the world. It's just not aimed in that direction. So if anything, the infertility argument often reinforces even stronger the idea that we intuitively know that relationships between men and women are sort of inherently oriented towards family life, even when through some impediment, through no fault of their own, they're unable to conceive. And the other thing to note about that is not every marriage ends up bringing kids into the world, but we do know that every kid brought into the world has a mother and a father. And that's why marriage has been understood between a man and a woman.
marriageequals.org.au